From WKYT Podcast, this is Uniquely Kentucky. I'm your host, Amber Philpott.
Hello, podcast listeners. I hope you're doing well and staying healthy at home these days. We have entered our fourth week in what has become our new normal. I've learned in the last few weeks that I had taken my sanctuary of home for granted. I had forgotten how much I enjoyed being home and how safe I feel in its walls. I think we're all guilty probably of being too busy, and our house becomes just a vessel for which we sleep and eat, and we don't stop to always enjoy the cocoon of safety it gives us. So I hope that while we're all being asked to stay at home during this pandemic, that you are enjoying being inside those walls of your house. This week for Uniquely Kentucky, I'm talking with a guy who loves to be home, but is also probably one of the busiest guys I know. He is everybody's favorite home baker, having been the first one to win the Holiday Baking Championship on Food Network. While we are all being healthy at home, Jason Smith is cooking up a storm and doing so for all the world to see on social media these days. He's been a guest here on Uniquely Kentucky before. He is a Kentucky boy through and through, and we really appreciate him. He's also using his catchy phrases that we all love so much from him to help those in need during this pandemic. And one note, if the podcast sounds a little different these days, that's because most of these are now having to be recorded via Skype or Zoom so that we can stay in contact with people. So if they sound a little different, that is why, but we appreciate you listening.
Uniquely Kentucky with Amber Philpott is brought to you by the WKYT News and Weather apps, available on the App Store and Google Play.
Well, Jason, talk to me about what you're doing. So you got this social distance T-shirt, and I know that you are kind of pushing this for a really good cause right now. What are you doing with it?
So I have this social distance y'all T-shirt that just came out last week. And I thought, you know what great part this would take in our society right now during all the coronavirus, that if we could help out, just one person makes 1,000 helps. And people don't really realize that, but I thought, it's something I would say. And I thought along with that, $2 from each T-shirt, I'm going to give to No Kid Hungry Foundation to help make sure that our kids have the food that they need during this time, to make sure that they're getting good, nutritious meals, and that at least they're having it one good meal a day. And it's one of those things that, I'm always about kids. I'm always about everybody else. And it also helps out some small businesses. The printer that prints my shirts, they're a small business here in Carter County. And of course, they're being hurt by this coronavirus as well. And they are also stepping up and doing 20% from each shirt that they're giving to God's Pantry. So in turn, we're helping two organizations, plus it's helping their small business. And it gives everybody a chance to wear one of my great sayings. And, social distance is really what we're supposed to be doing. So why not wear it on your shirt? So when people see it, they'll be like, yep, I know I'm supposed to be doing it. So
back up, right?
Just back off, brother, back off.
How are you holding up with social distancing and being maybe stuck at home?
Well, that was one thing at the beginning when I started thinking, when they said we had to stay at home. I was actually in New Orleans. We were filming fourth season of Best Baker, and an hour into filming, they shut us down. As Discovery said, everybody has to go home. We don't want anybody here. You need to be at home with your family. So we flew back immediately, and it all started from then. And I'm so used to traveling, and of course, being a Southerner, we're used to hugging. And that's the thing I've had the hardest trouble with, because I'm a hugger. I ain't a handshaker, I'm a hugger. So I guess maybe I should have done a shirt that said social distance. I can't hug you all. But so during this time, I've just been writing recipes. I've been doing live demos on Instagram and Facebook to help people learn some new stuff during this time of, it's hard to get to the store, but what can you make out of your cabinets and refrigerators that you have tonight that's homemade and healthy and made with love that your family's going to like? So it's all about cooking for me, girl. I just cook 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and I don't think nothing about being at home too long.
It's kind of nice, actually. You and I are much the same. I have found myself lunging at people wanting to hug them, and realized that maybe, well, first of all, I'm not supposed to do it. And then I'm like, I don't know if that's okay with him. And it's really hard when you're used to just being so kind of touchy-feely, I guess, if you will.
It is. People are like, I see people at the store, and of course they're staying the social distance. They're like, I'm not used to seeing you and not getting a hug. I'm like, girl, I know it's hard. It's hard. Somebody gonna have to tie my arms down.
Isn't it amazing though, during these times, I was looking through some of your videos that you've been putting out, and food is one of those things that really brings us together. And kind of in this moment, we really can't get together, but it looks like a lot of people are responding to social media and wanting to be a part of sort of a community. If it's your community and just these videos, it looks like.
Yeah, and it really has. I mean, it's unreal how much response I've had, and people keep saying, we still get to see you. That is one part of our day when you're on, that we can kind of not think about everything that's going on. Just have a laugh with you, learn some new recipes, and just forget everything that's going on, which is what you do for us anyway. So that's why we're really liking the videos, is I'm bringing a bigger community than what I do normally. So it's not just me. It's not just about me, but it's all about helping everybody else. And if I can just help somebody forget 30, 40 minutes about what's going on in this world, then that's what I'm going to keep doing.
I think after we're all said and done with this, we're going to learn a lot about ourselves. And one of the things I think we're going to learn about is that going through your pantry and cleaning it out and using the stuff that's there to cook with is okay. And we need to be doing that. And everyone's pantries are probably going to be amazing because everyone's been in there reshuffling them and reorganizing them through all of this time that we've been home.
Most definitely. It's one of those things I show all the time of, how to take a pack of spaghetti and not make it in spaghetti, but boil the noodles and you make a pizza crust with it. And people are like, I didn't know I could do all this stuff with so many ingredients that I normally just make the normal dishes every day.
How you're a guy that loves people, so how important is it for you during this time? Everybody else is getting something out of it, but how important is it for you to be on social media and really still being connected to all of your fans and the people who love you?
It's very rewarding for me to stay in contact with my fans and with friends and family through all of this video I'm doing and the live demos and stuff, because I'm one of those people. I'm a Southerner like most people, and we have to stay in contact with people. And this is the easiest way for me. I'm getting to be even a bigger part of your life. Plus, I get to feed you on my end. You're not actually eating it till you make it, but I'm still giving those people the love that they need during this time, and then they're showing me the love back. So if I'm making somebody's day, honey, I'm getting the biggest love reward that ever was.
It must have been a little scary for you guys to be in the middle of taping a show and then to say, we're shutting it down, we're going to send you home. That must have been sort of like a real eye-opening experience, because I know when you shoot a lot of those things, you guys go nonstop, and then to be saying, no, we're not going to do this anymore.
Yeah, it was almost, when they came to us, I mean, when they said they were shutting us down, it was like my heart just totally sunk. My stomach fell out the bottom, and I thought, good Lord, honey, if I was a rooster, I'd have done fell over dead right now, because you just scared me to death. But it was almost like an apocalypse almost. It was like, you have to stop now. Everybody has to leave set. Your airfare is already set. You're leaving. You've got to get out of the city. We've got to get everybody home. And you don't know what's really going on at that time, because when you're filming, you're kind of locked out of the world, because you're all about filming at that time. You're not looking at your phone. You're not hearing the news. So at that moment, you really don't know what's going on. So you don't know what they're really talking about. You're just heeding their warning and saying, okay. And so it is scary at times. And it was probably one of the most scariest times I'd ever been through, because we didn't know what was going on. They had just told us, you've got to leave. This virus that's going on is not good. We don't want to keep on filming, and then somebody gets sick, or you may get stuck in New Orleans they may shut down airports. And so it was a lot to take in within a 5-minute period.
I bet it felt good to come back to good old Kentucky in that moment, to get home.
It sure did. It felt good to come back to Kentucky. Now, all my wardrobe is still in New Orleans, and everything is there that we left. I mean, we left with nothing but the clothes on our back and what little we were wearing every day. So,
have you been able to check in with some of your, Food Network friends and check on them and make sure that they're okay through all of this?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. We stay in contact just about every day. We done that even before this, but every day we're texting each other and sometimes FaceTime and saying, hey, how are you? Are you okay? Are you safe? Are you healthy? How are you doing? Is there anything we can do? Not that we can do much from our end, but yeah, we stay in contact. We try to make sure that we're helping each other out the best we can. A lot of friends, co-chefs and stuff from the Food Network are doing the videos like I'm doing, and then a lot of them are going in and cooking for our first responders and people that's in the hospitals and stuff. And so we're all staying busy with everything we can to making sure that everybody is listening and doing what they need to do.
Jason, does your heart break like mine for so many of these people in the food world, for the chefs and the people that work in restaurants and just really going through this where they've been shut down? And I know that they're still providing food, curbside or pickup, but my heart really breaks for a lot of those people that love what they do and love working in that industry.
Yeah, and knowing it firsthand, being a chef, a baker, and a cook myself, I know what they're going through. It is heartbreaking because a lot of these small mom and pop shops that may have closed down, that can't do the curbside or can't do the to-go orders, they may never have a chance to reopen. They may have been in business for over 50 years and just barely surviving as it is. And then once you're shut down, I mean, that's it. So I hope we don't see a lot of that. But, and people always show their love through food. And that's why chefs do what they do. And right now they're just hanging on by a celery string, as I say, and they're doing the best they can. And I encourage them to keep doing the pickups, the curbside, the drive-through as much as they can, and just hope that everybody heeds, the warning and still does that and still goes out and grabs a meal every now and then. But it's very heartbreaking because it's uncertain right now. We don't know what's going to happen to the food industry. And we don't want people to think that, the love's going to stop just because that's the only way you can get the food right now.
You're a guy that knows a thing about being in a school cafeteria. It has been so amazing to see all of these school districts be able to go out and not only provide the food, but show some true love to all of these kiddos. That has to make your heart so happy too, to see that.
It does. I see it. All of my friends that I had when I was working in school and stuff, and from all over the state and all over the country, they have been sending out pictures of what they're doing and different things to help these kids. And it's just like, they're like, look, I've got your shirt. We ordered your shirt. Everybody's wearing your shirt. And the kids are loving it. They're like, oh, we know him. Did he fix our lunch today? So, it's just a wonderful thing to see how that the food service girls and guys come together and they carry on to make sure that the kids are getting those meals that they need.
A lot of times I think, folks like that, they have a thankless job, right? Like a lot of people don't usually see those folks. And so for them to really give of their time and to go out and just to be able to see these kiddos so that they see a familiar face, it's just been so important through this.
Yeah, it's one of those things I heard tonight that they wondered if people that was working in grocery stores was considered almost like a first responder. Well, our cafeteria workers really are too, because they are keeping these kids fed right now when maybe that might be the only meal they get for the day. So it's one of those things. It's really awesome to see how these cafeteria workers has came together. And most people are not thanking them, and they should be thanking them because it's a wonderful thing that they're doing. It really is.
So I want to know, a guy like you that's cooking almost every single day on these videos, where does all that food go? And are you the one eating it all?
Well, girl, I mean, look, I didn't get this physique by not eating, but I'm not eating it all. We have some friends that do a drive-by pickup on the porch. I'll set it out in a bag, and they drive by and pick it up. But it's one of those things, if you could only see my pantry, you would know I have a huge pantry, huge refrigerator. I do try to go to the store maybe once a week. I don't do it very much if I don't have to. I've got a lot of freezers. I'm always that person that has some kind of food on hand. I mean, you could go in my pantry right now and make probably 50 to 100 meals and live off of my pantry for a month. So, I mean, it's all here. I had the same question today on a demo. Where are you getting all your flour at? I'm like, girl, I buy my flour in 50-pound sacks, so I got plenty of flour.
I know people are worried about toilet paper, and I'm the one person that I don't know. If I go to the grocery, I just always buy more, so it's just always there. I've not been worried about toilet paper just yet.
Yeah,
so.
girl, I told him, I said, I ain't worried about toilet paper, honey. We get junk mail all the time. If I run out of toilet paper, I know exactly what to do.
You're from the country, you know that.
That's right.
I'm supposed to tell you that Miss Andrea Walker told me to tell you hello. She wanted to make sure I told you hello for that tonight.
Thank you so much. I love Miss Andrea Walker and love you too. You all are like my sisters on the other side of the world.
That means a lot to us. What is so when we finally get through this, and we're going to get through this at some point, what is on the horizon for you? What's coming up in your world these days?
Well, we have a lot going on when we can have it going on when we get back to it. Of course, we're filming the 4th season of Best Baker in America. It's supposed to start airing this summer, so fingers crossed we can get back soon and get that filmed. If it doesn't film in the summer, it may be late summer, but it is coming out. A lot of new twists and turns to Best Baker this time. We've kind of changed it up a little bit, so it's a little bit more exciting than usual. Of course, I have my shirt line that we're always working on, the Country Bling line. We're working on trying to get cookbooks through, kind of get them to pick up so we can start writing our cookbooks. Of course, I'm still with Gigi's Cupcakes. I'm their chief confectionery officer. I'm always coming up with new flavors. I've got a bunch of stuff coming out with them this summer, like personal pies and love bars and different things. So we are working on some other projects that will be in store hopefully by this fall that people will be able to buy. Lots of shows. We have a lot of shows still yet to film that we usually do, like the holiday shows and different things. So, of course, all the filming's on hold now. So we may be doing those live if we keep going the way we're going. But there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on, a lot that I can't even talk about. But it's a constant for me. I have to have 180 things going on at one time, and I got 190 right now. So we just keep doing them, keep plugging along, and just keep cooking and keep whipping out good stuff.
That's what keeps you young, my man. Jason Smith, I appreciate you. I love you, and thank you for telling us about this. And just appreciate everything, and just keep it up, man.
Thank you so much and love you. And remember, go to southerncountryBling.com. You all get your t-shirts. The whole spring line just launched, but make sure you get your social distance shirts because they help a good cause. And honey, that's where you get all them good recipes too.